Hey YouTube, and thanks for watching Junkworks Garage. Well, this is my idea of organizing to clean. I've talked about this, or I will be talking about this in future and past videos. And so I want to kind of explain a little bit of what my process is going to be for cleaning this messy garage here. Now, if you want to hear more on things, go watch my, I believe it's a 2023 My Last Garage Tour video. It'll be in my shop videos, probably on my shop videos. I don't know if there'll be any other ones, but in that playlist, in my shop playlist. Go check that out. Alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and kind of take a look at what my idea is that I hope works, that you won't see in this video, but hopefully in my next garage tour, yet again will be on my shop playlist, but probably a long time from now, or at least a year from now, we'll put it that way, when I have this whole garage completely changed and cleaned up. And you'll see if I succeeded. Although if I don't do a shop tour in 2024, I didn't succeed in 2024, so look in 2025. We'll see. So I'm going to show you this mainly because it shows how my idea is kind of a good and a bad thing at the same time. Now, normally I wouldn't pile this stuff like this, but I just actually got done with a bit of a haul from Marketplace, and I ended up with a bunch of stuff that needs to go in this area. The box of license plates doesn't really belong here, but right now it's actually holding some other stuff up, so it ended up there, and to get it out of my way. And part of the problem with my plan, the way I'm doing it, is you wind up with this because I got a project going on here, I got a project going on here, I got technically a project going on here. So, and I just brought more crap in, unfortunately, but it was just one of those, you get a good deal, you just can't pass it up. I gotta start passing them up though. But I talk about organizing to clean. So organizing, in my messed up mind, I'm organizing it as in all this stuff needs to go in this area right now. And actually, even when it's all said and done, more than likely a lot of this stuff's gonna go in this area. Something else I'll show to you. I just got done doing all this, and I had all this stuff just kind of piled here. I'm sure it'll be somewhere in the video, and as you're gonna notice, it is an absolute disaster as usual. But now I've gotten it pretty well organized, but it's not, even though it's organized and it's kind of put away and it's out of the way, I still need to go through each one of these things and put them in more of a clean pattern, I would say, where each thing is in its place where it's going to be for the final time, and it'll be out of the way, or something that I can use the way it is, be able to look at it, grab it, and use it, not have to dig or find or dig through everything. Maybe just dig through one box to get to what I need, or hopefully when all said and done I won't even have to do that, so we'll see. But this is kind of what I'm trying to explain. I put all this stuff here to get it out of my way more than anything, but all this stuff is nuts, bolts, doodads, and thingamajigs. Now, believe it or not, behind that is a wall of doodads and thingamajigs. The way I can put those away, all the nuts and bolts and screws and washers, I'm actually organizing, so all this is going to have to kind of come down, a lot of it. Like I said, just came home from a big haul, so I just kind of put it here for now because I got other projects going on. But normally, any nuts, bolts, screws, washers, unless they're already organized, will go into that bin right there. And then I'll take a handful of that every now and then and go and I separate them into these two bins down here that have separate pockets that I got from Harbor Freight. They didn't work in the toolbox, but I'm able to use them for this. Or I got that bin, that bin, that bin, and that bin, and actually that bin right there. And each one of those things is being separated more or organized more into specific areas, where then that bin will go to where it needs to go, which is over there, and go into its spot. So that's what I'm saying about organizing. I'm organizing everything together in one spot, then I'm organizing those into their separate things that is actually going to go in its final spot. In a normal situation, I'd have, say, maybe this stuff here or this bucket full of stuff here. Well, these are already somewhat separated and organized, so I'll just go through this and get these put away. I don't even have a spot for these. These are square cut nails, old-fashioned square cut nails. I don't know if they're originally old or something new that somebody made. Something you can still buy those. So that I'll probably just leave it kind of the way it is, find a place for it, and go through it at another time, because mostly I won't need a whole lot of these things. It's one of those things, thought it was neat, brought it home, got it pretty much for free. Then we got like this bucket of stuff here, which has some screws and some other screws, but like these screws are in a box, they are all the same. I will take those and actually put them in a spot over there, or in my other bin, which I'll show you here in a minute. Same, like these right here are all kind of similar, but instead of taking them and throwing them in here to separate them into here, I will just take that and probably separate it into here. But then you end up with something like this. And I have no idea. Normally, I would probably take this, and usually I end up with stuff more like this, where it's nuts, bolts, screws. So let's use this more as a plan. I'll take this, and it'll all go into here, where then I will separate it as I have time to do it. And usually this stuff is not here. This is all stuff I brought home. But anyway, and then like this right here, you know, I might go through this, put this to the side and go through it at a different date, because most of it is nails, which I probably won't use ever anymore unless it's in some sort of a project, which I kind of do have a plan for. But there might be a few neat things in here, who knows, that I might use for something. You know, these little brackets will go in a separate place. I'll probably, since they're at the top, go ahead and, you know, throw those in there or on the floor where that one ended up, and go through this a little bit at a time as well, similar as I would this. And then it'll all get separated into these, which will get separated into something like this that I just also brought home. This is the whole reason I ended up with a bunch of crap in my garage, is I wanted that, and wound up with such a good deal on everything else, I ended up just bringing it home. But regardless, it's free. Free stuff's good. Well, that wasn't free. I had to pay for that. But then we'll come over here, and yet again, this is becoming overfilled. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to upgrade this whole thing here as time goes on. Here I have like cotter pins, different things that are already kind of sorted in their little boxes. Obviously, I need to get that all put away. Hose clamps, pins, things like that are all up in here. I kind of know what's in here. Then we got these drawers. This is all just kind of rubber things and gasket material, that kind of stuff. We got clips and doodads that hold in panels or that kind of thing, or like fender clips that hold on fenders bolts, those kind of things in there. There's like O-rings in this one. This is kind of O-rings, grommets, rubber hose for, you know, that's fuel line for a lawnmower and that kind of stuff. And then we get into really tiny nuts or screws. Actually, I do put screws and washers in here and stuff. There's not a lot of that, but mostly screws. Then I got these. These are things I can take and make into spacers and cut down and that kind of thing. I got lug bolts right here for different stuff. Then this here is all fine thread type screws. These are more of a coarse thread type screw. down here, this one's hard to open sometimes. I got air fittings and things like that for air. I have this here for when I throw some stuff in there. And then we got our first one here. We got bolts and washers. Yet again, I don't have these really organized, so I end up digging through stuff. At some point, I would like to have this more organized into, you know, sizes and shapes, and even stainless from other things, the different grades, all that stuff I'd like to have organized, but this is what happens when you have a lot of used stuff. Same thing, this is doodads, thingamajigs that are just kind of things I don't want to get rid of, turnbuckles, longer screws, and or bar, I don't know, threaded bar basically is all it is. Like U-bolts and, you know, different things. But it is all somewhat organized into somewhat of a fashion. And this is all bigger bolts here. All these ones here, just kind of bigger stuff. Some of the smaller stuff's falling in there too, but it is what it is. But it works really well, and up until now it's worked perfectly. I'm just going to have to organize a bit more. And underneath here I actually do have some springs and a whole bucket of springs, which goes in the hole down there. Anyhow, these work very well for these kind of things as far as storing nuts, bolts, and screws, doodads, and thingamajigs, but at the same time I'm running out of space, so I need to get something bigger like this or figure out some other ideas. So that's kind of why I brought this home, is to give me a little bit more room, but unfortunately and fortunately it is already kind of filled with stuff. I don't know if you can see that. Luckily, I think I'll be able to put quite a bit more in here and actually organize it more into sizes and types with this, but that won't last long with everything I have. So there you go. Now you know. That is kind of my idea behind organizing for cleaning, and I understand by the looks of it, especially right now, you would think it doesn't work, but most of the time it seems to be somewhat working, even though my shop is a huge mess. I think I'm going to call that a video. Hopefully somebody got something out of that, and go watch my next garage tour, which I don't know when that'll be, because I'm not doing another one until this place is cleaned up. And you'll be able to see if my ideas sort of kind of worked. Hopefully they work better than sort of kind of. Alright, get out there and get your junk working. Thanks for watching Junkworks Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all, and obviously master of none. You all have a good one.